You just saw one-on-one situations, and then we dropped 5 third down passes, 4 early, and then, as soon as we got a little bit of momentum, we give a big kick return. So very disappointed in the last 2 games. Thought we maybe turned the corner, but we had a lot of work ahead of us.
You just building off of that. You guys look like you've made a lot of progress over the course of this season. Does the last 2 games take some of the shine off of it?
No question. I mean, they'll be. It wasn't the same group. And we got to figure out why. Certainly, maybe say the first week it was 6 days and at Akron, but we're back home and had a lot of time, and there was no juice, and so I gotta figure it out.
Is the amount of drops that you guys had today frustrating, even though it stopped a lot of drives and that let Buffalo back on field?
Yeah, I mean five third down throws, 4 in the first half. I mean, you're just not gonna, if you drop third down passes, and so, and yeah, that's you have a game plan. Then you don't turn the ball over and give up that many yards and points. And they didn't turn it over. We didn't make any plays on defense. And I mean the drops are self-inflicted wounds. So
Taylor had gone over 30 carries 3 or 4 times already this season. How much were you guys expecting them to kind of just pound and pound and pound with him?
Well, yeah, once they got it, I don't think that the run game, we did a good job in the first half. It's coverage breakdowns. Got beat one-on-one situations, and then blow a couple coverages and give a play is unacceptable. 14 seconds left in the half, so it's just kind of frustrating at this point in the season, especially when you have a couple extra days to prepare. So that was certainly a big play.
Coach, would you say the 99-yard drive they had in the second quarter, 17 plays, was that deflating for your team?
I don't think that was as bad, because they have a good offense, and it was 7-0. But then you go down and you got a big play. Rodney Mills drops a corner route that gives them the ball, and then they go down and we blow a coverage, and it's 13-0. And takes the wind a little bit out of your sail, as we're saying. We said we're going to control the ball a little bit, not turn it over, and play defense, and we didn't do it. So, as I said, credit Buffalo. They did what they had to do and answered, and then I thought we didn't certainly finish the game, and that's frustrating also.
What did you see out of Austin today, and how would he compare to the Akron game? Certainly the playing conditions were much better than what you had now.
No, I mean, he was better. But, he's a freshman. And it's a big difference from the guy we had before. So, I mean, he took care of the ball better and, made a couple plays, but we didn't, as I said, it gets frustrating when the ball's dropped on third downs and you can't get your run game going and there's no continuity. So, he played better, but obviously not. You're not well enough to get the job done in the scoreboard. You got to put up 42, so which is probably what we had to do all year. So,
What's for you? Are you back at this tomorrow, trying to get prepared for next year? Do you take a day or two? Do you take a couple days? I mean, is this
RECRUIT?
You'll be out on the road. Will you be out on the road tomorrow?
We certainly have enough talent. Not even close. So that's priority number 1.
How close do you think you are to being where you want to go into next year?
Depends which week it is. So that's the frustrating. The Toledo and the Ball State, I thought that even though we didn't win at Toledo, we're prepared, and Ball State we were, and maybe it was the time. I don't understand because it was a short week, long week, and so we gotta look into it. I thought that they were all right. I thought they would be prepared to play, but you know, when you do things in the first quarter that you hadn't practiced, line up wrong, and obviously low coverage, there's something not right. So we gotta dig down deep, and but that'll be addressed, you know, in the middle of the week.
You guys have had so many close calls this year. Do you look at those, even dating back to non-conference play, do you look at those as this team was that close, or do you see it as we're still that far away?
Well, so right now, right now I feel like we're a long ways away. So, you know, Buffalo's not the cream of our crop. They played well the last two games. They certainly had the talent, and they put it together at the end. And credit Alex, he did a great job. And, you know, beat the tail off Akron and beat the tail off of us. And, you know, so we just got to move forward.
Was it surprising to see some of the one-on-one performances you mentioned on defense coming from guys who played the whole season?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously we're not good enough. So a lot of it comes down to one-on-ones, and if you can't get it done, we got to find somebody else, and that's what we got to do.
Yeah, I mean, no team kind of wants to go out the way we kind of just did. We did fight. That's something I'm proud of my team about. But yeah, no one really wants to go out like the way we just did. We just didn't come to play early enough and soon enough. So, and that's a game of football, you know. You get exploited in areas when you don't show up.
What do you attribute that to? What happened? I mean, for last game of the season, that you guys, at least going into it, seemed fired up to play one more.
Yeah, we were really excited to play. I'm sure that the mistakes are going to be fixed and the adjustments are going to be made, and I'm sure next year they're going to be an unbelievable team. You know, UMass is really heading in the upward direction. And that's what we need.
So when you look at these past 2 weeks, losing Fro, do the defense kind of look at and say, you know, we have to win these two games, and if so, when you give up 71 points over that, what does that say? What do you take out of that?
I mean, yeah, as a defense, we did put the burden on our shoulders. You know, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. But at the end of the day, I mean, football is a game of, you know, will, and you're gonna get injured at some point in time. And you know, although it was unfortunately we lost Fro, I mean, Austin's kind of stepped up and did what he had to do. So we're really proud of him and just being able to sort of keep the offense going. And just on the defensive side of the ball, we just got to stop the offense. You know, that's essentially what we have to do. But we came up short this past 2 weeks, and especially this week.
You guys, you faced a lot of good running backs this year, and Taylor goes over 200. Did it feel similar to kind of what Bo Oliver did last year when they rushed him 43 times and they just kind of keeps coming and coming and coming?
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo's a really tough nose, and they're just going to run the ball, you know. And at some point, I guess, when a defense is not in the right place at the right time, a back is going to do well. You know, a back is going to find those holes in which he's just going to take advantage of the defense. And yeah, at some points we were in the right place at the right time, and some points we were, but unfortunately he did take advantage of us. So
Austin,
that's up to him.
Sorry, Austin, can you objectively look at it and say you made some progress today, that you did some things better than you did against Akron, or is it the frustration of losing game make it hard to get to that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely frustrating right now. I'm not really going to compare it to Akron, maybe later down the road. At the end of the day, we didn't put up any points in the first half. We couldn't really score until the end of the game, and that's my job as a quarterback. So, yeah, it might have been better than Akron, but I still didn't do my job. We couldn't really move the ball offensively until the end of the game, and that falls on me as a quarterback.
Did you have to shake out some of the drops?
You know, it happens. There were only a couple. They still weren't great balls. I mean, they're pretty wobbly balls and stuff. They're still tough catches to make. Getting hit when you're catching the ball isn't always easy. It wasn't like they were wide open. So that wasn't really something I looked at and was frustrated about. I was just kind of move on. And there are plenty of times where receivers were wide open and I missed them. So nothing really can worry about with that aspect of it.
Stanley, you mentioned football is a game of will. When you look back the last 2 weeks from the defense, was it will that came up short? Was it execution? What was it the biggest thing?
I'd really just say probably execution. I mean, we've really been a good defense all year. I mean, we've shut teams out at some points, and it's just very unfortunate when you're not in the right place at the right time. There's so many plays that happen in football in which teams are really just exploited because they're not in the right place at the right time. And, at some point, you really just have to hone into your assignments. And I don't think we did that the last 2 weeks, but I'm so proud of our defense.
Austin, you're in a unique situation where if all goes according to plan, this team doesn't want to see you play again next year, where you're kind of fall back a little bit. When you reflect on these 2 games, what do you take out of that, and how do you personally move on knowing that's the case next year when you get out of it?
Get a lot out of it. I think I can kind of show a little bit that I can play at this level, and I'm not just a coach's son. A little bit, at little glimpses of that. Obviously, didn't play well these past 2 weeks, but just looking towards next year, competing for the backup spot again, and trying to back up Fro, who we're excited to have back. Great quarterback, unbelievable player, and great person. So just looking forward to try to compete for the backup spot for next year, and just looking towards that, I guess.
Austin, do you think across the board, after the way the last 2 weeks went, does it create a little sense of uneasiness for the guys coming back or moving forward? Do you think people are concerned with the way it ended, or how would you evaluate that?
I don't think anyone's concerned. I think we're heading in the right direction. It's tough losing guys like Stan, who've been a leader to us and all year, and looking towards that. But I think we got a lot of guys coming back, and whenever you have a guy like Fro come back and your leading receiver essentially coming back, I think there's a lot to look forward to. I don't think anyone's losing hope in the locker room. I think everyone's just ready to get after it in the weight room with Coach Golden and trying to move forward towards next year.
Austin, maybe it's concern. It's not a concern. You guys motivated by the way the last 2 games ended to take more steps forward, to not have this be a plateau?
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone down there has a bad taste in their mouth after the past 2 weeks, and coming out flat on senior day. I think that's definitely something that's going to motivate us these next in the off season. So I think everyone's going to remember these last 2 weeks, and it's not going to be something that brings us down. It's going to help us in the long run and motivate us to be the best team we can be next year.